Okay, I'm going to just show you real quickly how the TIConnect software looks, just so as you realize that you can get one of these cables, or maybe a USB comes with you, and the TIConnect download is a great one, especially on the Apple, though this is being running on the Windows side here. And so here's what happened. I started the program, I've connected my USB, I've got my calculator connected, and I can go just right now to TI Device Explorer right here. And what I'm going to be doing here, it's going to kind of go outside your screen, but I'll just move this around and go with the small 640 by 480 upload to YouTube here. It is connecting, and when I move this thing down here, I'll move this one out of the way, and this is what the Device Explorer looks like, which means this is what I can see inside my calculator. And what I want to do here is I'm keeping an updated list of all the programs here on this computer. So I want to go here to Program, and Bernoulli was one I just updated. I had not loaded to my local computer. So I can now just kind of pull this, drag it, and drop it out on my desktop or into the file I want it to be in. So that's TIConnect. It's incredibly good stuff, especially when taken in conjunction with the TI emulator, which is another free download that makes it run on your computer so you can make videos and a lot of other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to drop it there, but I'm going to open up my file correctly, go and know where I want to put it. I'm going right now to my computer. You can't see any of this. See, okay, you can go down. I'm going down to the place I want to store this stuff in my users, and Mark Patak, in documents, and someplace down here I've got an area called seed calculator. So right there in the seed calculator, I'm going to drag and drop off the screen again. I'm going to drag and drop that Bernoulli, misspelled, I see. I'm going to drag it, and I'm dropping it into the seed calculator, and it's going to see that error. I do want to overwrite what's there, so I'm going to click on that. It's going to transfer it, hopefully. Just kind of not the slickest, fastest transfer, but remember, you're going into not a USB device or a Bluetooth device. You're going to see calculators, like everything else, are going to come a long way in the future. Hopefully they won't add too many little toys to them to completely waste your time learning how to understand and carry around and own some of these calculations, not just on paper, but in a computer, Excel, or something like that. Is an incredibly important thing. So you take ownership of some of these really simple ideas that you start with a certain amount of energy and you just lose energy due to friction. Okay, that all said, I've downloaded that program, and I'll show you now how to load it up to your emulator. So I'm going to go ahead and close. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this. I'm clicking and I'm closing the TIConnect. And now I'm going to go into my calculator, which is the TI-83 Flash Debugger. It looks like that. So I'm going to click on that, bring that up, and you'll get to a point here. It looks something like this. I'm going to save file, and I've saved basically a calculator that I've been loading on the computer. This is not, what I'm going to click on here is just it's an emulator. It is in my hard drive, more or less. So I'm going to click on that, and I see this here. Now the last thing I need to do before I start running the calculator, I need to go to load a RAM file, and then I need to know where to get it. That's it right there, and I hope that once it loads, and it did, now I can hit run, and that calculator comes there. And if you remember, what I was trying to do is change the Bernoulli program so I had one with a better revision date. I go to here, and I hit that, and I hit, I got to move it up a little bit, and I hit enter, enter, and you see I got the revision date. Okay, so that is just a real quick run through on how to use and what it looks like when you learn to connect up your calculator to a machine. I will have one of these computers in class on a recurrent basis, so we make sure that all of our calculators are current. And so that those of you that start to realize that plugging and chugging a set of equations someone has pre-worked for you is not necessarily going to make you competitive when you're out on site and you really got to, or in the office, and you really got to think a little bit more creatively. There's nothing wrong with that. but I really, when you do these things, the next step for most of you at this point should be that you start programming and collaborating and cooperating, so you can kind of get some of these base calculations, whether they be survey, engineering based, mathematics based, physics based. These are things that as a starting point, and I wouldn't, if you really start liking programming, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on the calculator. I would work into some sort of object-oriented programming like C++ or Visual Basic or Ruby, which is the one for SketchUp. Visual Basic is what you're using in AutoCAD and Civil 3D. So that's how to kind of use the TIConnect. There's a lot there, and if you've got a calculator and you're going to be using it, there is really no excuse to not have this backed up someplace. Thanks for listening.